Hello, everybody, and welcome to Superstitions and Whatever. And see, Iggy, you can still see me. Remind you tomorrow the dust goes off. Okay, note written. You need to put. Oh, never mind. Remove. Hello. How is everybody tonight? I see Adam and Wahoo and John slash Iggy Stardust. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I will be right back. John was gracious and put the stream on his channel, but forgot to put it on mine. How is my volume? Can you all hear me? Okay, that's weird. Could be a smidge louder, but I can hear you. Sing something scary. Um, they did the mush, the monster mash. I don't sing well at all, Wahoo. So, but a funny story about that um song. It's actually mine and Dave's song. When we're out in the car, we definitely need something to laugh about, and one of us will start singing that song. He started doing it first, and I just kind of caught on. Is this better? Is the sound better now? Mm, Ah, no, don't turn off my mic. Why is my mic only showing one? Wait, let me see if I can switch to this one. Ah, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. That doesn't make any difference, does it? Okay, I'll turn this one off. Maybe my headphones are low. Oh, I got, finally got my stuff up that I wanted. That big open space is going to be for a shelving unit that my middle son made when he was in, I think, 8th grade. Remember, I went to a shitload of concerts when I was younger. Well, then that's your own fault that your ears are shot, not mine, John. All right. Seeing as how black cats have been brought up, I went to the Farmer's Almanac for help tonight. And it says, according to superstition, having a black cat cross your path may be lucky or unlucky, depending on where you live. In some countries, such as Egypt, all cats, no matter what their color, are lucky. In Egypt, cats were considered so sacred that if one was accidentally killed, its killer was put to death. And a side note on that, one of the ancient Egyptian pantheon was Beset, who was a cat goddess. Her head was a cat, and sometimes she appeared as a hat, as a full cat. So she, I remember this right. Beset's main thing was to help keep the rat population down in the palaces and stuff. Why does it make them assholes now that they worship cats when in ancient times during the pharaoh's reigns? Could you explain that? Why you said that, John? Okay. Now we all know that it's bad to walk under a ladder. That's up because you could have anything fall off that and get hit in the head, like you're full of paint. But there's more to the superstition. It says that since the ladder leaning against a wall forms a triangle with the ground and the wall, the belief is that you'd better not step through it or break it, or evil may befall you. Triangle was a sacred symbol to early Christians, representing the Blessed Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Walking under the ladder was considered a serious sin because it weakened God's power and thus released evil demons into the world. And also, before gallows were invented, many people were hung on the top rung of the ladder and hung from that. And then when the gallows was built, they had to walk up a ladder to get the noose put around their neck, and then whatever was kicked out from under them. Yes, I do have my nails done this week. Um, Shoot, just a second. Now, do you guys know about how to hang a horseshoe for it to bring you good luck? They think they are to be punished for anything, which is why they knock shit over, put shit. And they're mostly right. I don't think they're too cute. They think that they are um, sacred beings and that they should be worshipped. That's a cat's mentality, as far as I know. But the one I had when I was a kid, he was like that. Okay, back to the horseshoe. In the Celts, the Irish Celts would give horseshoes to a bride on her wedding day for good luck. True about dogs and cats. Anyways, if you hang the horseshoe upside down, the it'll bring negative energy and could bring negative beings and bad luck. So the horseshoe needs to be hung with its little with the top of the U up, and that brings love, harmony, and positive energy and good luck into a home. Then there's also the one about opening an umbrella in the house. I haven't used my. Let me find it, guys. Okay, we'll do this one first. If you spill salt, you're supposed to take some and throw it over your left shoulder. That is to keep evil spirits from coming in. I'll scream here in a minute. And its purification and salt can also be used around the outside of your house or along or the perimeter of your land to protect it from nasty things, energy, people be that want to be mean to you. They have a harder time getting to you. Hey, Nancy, so glad you're here. How you doing? Um, but if you live in an apartment or row houses, placing salt in each corner of every room will will basically do the same thing. But with having animals, it can be dangerous because they can get too much salt and it can do nasty things to their urinary system, especially their kidneys. So you'd want to use basil instead. You can actually take some fresh basil, put it in water, like a tablespoon of fresh basil and an 8-ounce spray bottle of water. Let it sit overnight, then strain it because otherwise, when you go to spray, you'll get pieces of the whatchamacallit, basil in the nozzle thing and it won't work. So you put your tablespoon of water or tablespoon of basil and 8 ounces of water, a teaspoon of sea salt in it also, a teaspoon of garlic. Shake it up and leave it sit overnight. Then strain it through the smallest strainer you have. If you have gauze around the house, strain it through the gauze. Yes, it can burn the paws too, very badly. And then you put it back in the spray bottle and along like the baseboards of your house. Actually, if you have an animal in the house, only use a half a teaspoon of the salt. And then go and spray around each room, the perimeter of each room. Don't do it right on the floor, do it up by the baseboard so that there's less chance of the cat or dog stepping on it. Or if you have a gerbil or a hamster that doesn't go in a little ball, they'll be safe. And when you're spraying it, think that this is going to protect my home and all those in it from negative energy, negative beings, that kind of thing. How many times have you knocked on wood? That's so, they say, that's so that we don't bring bad luck to ourselves when we say something. We, for instance, um, I might not ever have another dollar in my purse. Knock on wood, it doesn't happen. Thank you, Dave. He's in the other room knocking on wood for me too. So yeah, you knock on wood to change the negative thing you said into a positive. Now Friday the 13th. Some people think it's good luck, other people think it's bad luck. Um, there's many superstitions surrounding it. The story that I associate with it the most is when the Catholic Pope at the time and the French king rounded up all the Knights Templars on October 13th. 1426, I think, and it was a Friday, and they were all put to death, executed immediately. But for me, good things usually happen on a Friday the 13th. How about all of you? Good, bad, nothing? Anybody want to put an answer in how you feel about Friday the 13th? When a full moon's tied to Friday the 13th, stay inside because moon phases do affect, do somewhat affect everybody because of the ebb and flow of the moon, the tides, and the Earth's energy. The best thing I'd tell you is stay inside because anyone that would be negatively affected on a regular full moon is going to be 3 to 4 times worse on a Friday the 13th full moon. Dispatch. Those nights were cray cray. Exactly. Exactly. And with the full moon and people acting wackadoodle, um, kind of goes along with the werewolf myth. I mean, who knows? There might be werewolves out there. That would be interesting to see. Um, yeah, so if all possible, stay in on a full moon, especially if it's on a Friday. I wouldn't want to be out there with those wackadoodles. When I was bartending, I dreaded the time I had to work on a full moon. That was the best time for people who had who were like going to be 21 in 2 or 3 days and decided it was okay for that I should serve them because it was almost their birthday. They didn't like it when I threw them out of the bar, believe me. Or when they had bouncers, had the bouncers throw them out. Sorry, I dropped my lighter. Uh, what did you write me? Oh, wow. I see. You, exactly, Wahoo. Amateur night that go along with, excuse me, New Year's Eve and St. Patty's Day. Hi, Shane. Thanks for coming, supporting me, and hanging out tonight. Glad you're here. Now, I don't know if you've all heard, but opening an umbrella in the house is bad luck, especially if a man does it. Let's just say that some of those nights my EMT college class didn't really. um, opening an umbrella in the house. Well, first of all, let's look at the safety aspect. If you don't know somebody standing there, you could easily injure them, especially if it would be around the face that you hit them with. But opening it in the house, this is what I read, and what my mother's mother used to tell me, that little nasty things will crawl up inside the umbrella. And if you open it in the house, they'll come out into your house. So if you open it outside, they get whooshed away. Um, 7 years bad luck with breaking a mirror. Do any of you believe in that one? I had 7 years bad luck for every mirror I broke. I would never, ever, ever, ever have any good luck. The reason for it, nope, because the mirror should shatter when I look at it. Oh, don't say that, Iggy. Um, yeah. Okay, mirror. Sorry, my fibromyalgia is bad and I have a little brain fog going. Um, Mirrors are an opening to another dimension. Good for you, Wahoo. Open into supposedly open into another dimension. So if you break it, anything from that other dimension or other world or other plane, however you want to call it, can come through to this one. Good, bad, or indifferent. So, yeah, it's not fun breaking a mirror. I have a mirror with that's painted black on the back that I use for scrying. And that one stays wrapped up and is very carefully put away and taken out so it doesn't break. Uh-huh. Even you don't believe what? Believe what, Yahoo, Wahoo? That you're the fairest of them all? Oh, don't put yourself down. What will happen if you were on the portal on your phone? I'm not quite following you, Nancy. What portal on your phone? Could you reword your question or give me a little bit more information on what you're asking, please? Good luck for what, Adam? To ask people who died on your phone. Oh, no, that doesn't really open anything, Nancy, for the spirit to come back to haunt you. No, that doesn't happen. Um, yeah, I have never had anyone had anyone tell me or seen anyone open a portal by asking someone who died if I was on, on the phone. Oh, thanks, Adam. Um, in fact, portals actually are pretty hard to open and they have to be done very safely. There are people like my youngest son who, even as a child, could open portals in his sleep. It's just some kind of gift he has. And I had to, for his peace of mind, I had, and let him get sleep, good sleep, I actually had to bind them so that he couldn't open a portal and something come through and start yapping at him in the middle of it. But then when he got 18, he asked me to take it off of him. He was living with me and my ex for a little while and accidentally in his sleep, or opened a portal in the bedroom and I had to close it. So those are fun. Um, Now, if you were on a Ouija board, which I do not recommend at all, those things, those things seem to attract very, very negative spirits, such as murderers, um, armed robbers, abusers, rather, and they can mask and pretend to be very often the person you're asking to talk to. So if you have a Ouija board, break it. If you can, burn it then after you break it and the little thing that spells out, I can't remember what the name of it is, but that little triangle, that it's almost a little heart-shaped thing that you put your fingers on and it moves around the board. Burn that too. And if you don't have one, please don't get one. Yeah, I don't mess with Ouija boards. Had a bad experience once, never again. I had a gentleman I was seeing for a while. He had a Ouija board and he actually got possessed. Um, Luckily, a Catholic priest and I were able to get it out of him. No, it was not an exorcism like you see in the movies or anything like that. It was just talking to the entity that had gone into him and coaxing it out and then banishing it. So that was not fun. It was very hard. Eh, very, very tiring. So what else do you guys want to talk about? Remember the old thing when we were kids? If you step on a crack, you'll break your mother's back. That came about in what was it? About the late 1800s. Okay, Nancy, put in what you want to talk about, and as soon as I get done with this, we'll talk about it. Um, when they were first starting to use, or yeah, it's about the 1800s when they started to use wood for sidewalks in towns, and apparently a child got a foot caught in one of the cracks. The mother went to help him, and something fell. It it was something heavy, I think a barrel or something, and killed her. And that's where the step on a crack, you break your mother's back comes from. So, what would you like to talk about, Nancy? Nancy, you said yes, I do. So, I thought you had something you want to talk about. Please tell me what it is. I do not read minds. Here's one, trick or treat. Why is it done? Okay, trick or treat started, I think what I read was 1700s. Um, And at first, it was going door to door, be asking for like a certain thing that had been canned, type of food that had been canned, or for some meat or whatever. When it, as it went, it turned into what we have now, where kids go begging from door to door for candy instead of things that their food that would help their household get through the cold months. I will be getting more into that next week on on the stream about um, the witch's holiday, Samhain, which when you see it, it's going to be Samhain. It's a Celtic word that's pronounced Samhain, and about Halloween. And I'll have a guest with me. I'll have KTZ, who will be talking about All Souls Day. Just that I need to know if there was any way that I can love your job. My boss keeps asking me to come in all the time. I'm on set. Nancy, the only way you could love your job, that's a mindset. That's not something that magic or a spell or a ritual can change. That's something that needs to change in your mind. You know, I would start doing positive affirmations is one way. Um, you know, as you're getting ready for work, just keep repeating yourself. It's going to be a good day. I like my job. It's going to be a good day. I like my job. Then after you start liking it, then change the wording. It's going to be a good day. I love my job. That's the only suggestion I could give you on that. What that ass piece of furniture behind me, Adam? Nice, Iggy. Yeah, and um, they used to they're jack-o'-lanterns. Well, oh wait, that's Halloween. Shay, I don't think that it's entirely done. Kids just do it differently now compared to how trick-or-treating took place even back in the early 2000s. Very true, Shane. And this year, I hope there are parents with every kid because it's going to be dangerous, especially in the cities that are already kind of in a uproar. Oh, thank you, Adam. This is the buffet is um an air in Dave's family. It's an heirloom from his great aunt to his mother, or I don't know, but it's a family. It's been handed down in his family. You're welcome, Nancy. What is the difference between a male witch and a warlock? Okay, i- there isn't really always a difference between a male witch and a warlock. It depends upon the tradition, the pagan tradition that the man's following. Um, Most eclectic witches, and eclectic means you take a little bit from here and a little bit from there, and um, you find things from different traditions that work for you. A warlock, those, in my experience, and I've been out of the broom closet as a pagan since I was 19. So 48 years. And the only time I have seen males called warlocks was black magic practitioners and the darker side of satanic worship. Not all Satanists are rotten people. Yes. Yeah. Warlock and male witch, they're kind of interchangeable, but it, as I just explained in my experience, a witch is usually for good and um, to help people to walk in a spiritual path of light gray to white magic. Where, in my experience now, a warlock tends to walk in darker gray or black. That's how I see the difference. You could ask, 10 other witches and they might have another idea. But that is my personal belief and and I base it on experience. And Warlock is actually more a mass media like movies. Um, Harry Potter comes to mind where they had warlocks, or TV shows where Samantha's father was a warlock. You know, it's always been, I mean, actually, even being called a witch didn't start until, for modern witches, I'm saying, didn't start till around 1954 when a man in England named Gardner started the Wicca movement. And he just said anyone that practices is a witch, and that's kind of where it came down to. I use some Wiccan parts in my private practice and with my coven, but I also use Celtic, I use Egyptian, I use Native American, so that's why I'm an eclectic witch. That's my practice. Freaked out, she asked me. That's what she said. Can you post the link to my Discord while we're here? Sure. So let me go get it. There you go, Adam. And if anybody has questions that they don't feel comfortable asking in a live stream, please contact me on Discord. I'll be happy to answer it if I can. So does that explain a little bit better about the difference between warlock and a male witch? That's like asking what's the difference between a female witch and a sorceress? A sorceress tends to use universe tends to try to bend universal energy for her own use. Whereas a witch, we try to work in harmony with the universe, in harmony with Mother Earth, the plants, the wildlife, humans. Also, there was the line in Battle of the Planet of the Apes, which is based on Christian theology indirectly. The line is, do as you will is the devil's law, which is incorrect because the Wiccan tenet and it harm none, do as you will. Very true. But the Christian theology they were referring to is in the Old Testament, where I don't know if it's mentioned at all. I don't remember, I should say, if it's mentioned at all in the New Testament. But yeah, it is in the Old Testament that women who do, I'm paraphrasing here, women who do bad things are doing the devil's work, just like the Puritans believed. And then you had the whole Salem thing, and the Salem witch trials were actually the last ones. The witch trials started in England with King James because he thought, get this one, he thought midwives were bringing babies into the world using some kind of magic. Yes, it is. Cherry picking statements is how you control people. And that's not a, that's a Wiccan read, uh, Iggy, not Tenet. It's a Wiccan read. If you look at my community post I put up today, there is a link to my website for the whole Wiccan read. There, the whole Wicca read. I changed it to the witches read because it's something I think all witches should go by. That's my personal opinion. And the Wiccan Read was written by Doreen Valentine in, I believe it was 1960. So witchcraft has changed a lot since, in the old, in centuries gone by, there were healers in villages, there were women that birthed babies, there were the druids that were all men, that were spiritual leaders. Hang on just a second, let me try. Hmm. I don't know why it won't work, John. I try Adam. Try right clicking on it, then open link in new tab. That's how I went to it. Okay, with Stevie Nicks, that came about after she was in the American Horror Story about a witch coven. There are people that say she is, there's people that say she isn't a witch. She has never come out and either um, denied it or said that it was true. So right now it's kind of an urban legend thing, Shane. Is that the link to my server? Oh, it is. Oops. Sorry, it looked like I gave you the wrong one, Adam. Yes, she did. She does use the term Welsh witch to copyright her music, but she still has not come out and confirmed that she follows it. I may have to keep that. I guess I have the wrong link in my oh, this is funny. It said, John, it said you invited me to my own Discord, and now it's loading updates. Okay. So weird night. Oh, Adam, that does make it harder. Thank you, John. Yes, I do. And you forgot to put my own stream on my own channel tonight. It was on yours. It wasn't on mine. Now I got stupid Discord coming over. What the hell? So what else do you guys want to talk? Excuse me, it went down the wrong way. What else would you guys like to talk about? Great. I'm glad you got it, Adam. Adam, how is your daughter doing? I looked into it a little bit years later after a friend once saw her in concert. He said that she acted that way quite a bit while Stevie sang and performed during her show. Yeah, yeah, I thought you had put it on yourself by default. Eh, nah, I won't sue you. And back to you. What do you mean, Shane? What do you mean he said that she acted that way quite a bit while Stevie sang and performed during her show? Um, I don't understand. Yes, it is part of your job here. Hi, Lisa B. Thank you for coming. I hope you're doing well. Adam, I'll answer your stickers when the stream's done. Thanks for joining me on Discord too. Shane, could you please explain a little bit more what you were um talking about? That she acted what way? Do. We kidding. So is everybody getting ready for Halloween? I'm getting ready for Samhain. Samhain is our major holiday. It celebrates the last harvest. After October 31st, your farmers and people with the orchards, whatever is picked, are supposed to leave it for the animals over the winter. It's also the day that we honor our ancestors and others who have passed away. And third harvest, honor the ancestors. And it's also the witch's new year. So, yeah, we do a little bit of partying that night. And I have coven gathering on the 31st on Samhain on Halloween. So I might be a little late to John's spooky special. I was just told by that Stevie moved around and is possibly talking some about Wicca. Oh, okay. Thank you, Shane. Almost done with the porch. The electrical is always a time consumer before the fun of decorating happens. True. Outside will be next week. Anybody that wants to take a picture or a video of Halloween decorations, please send it to me on Discord, and then with your permission, I'll show it or try to show it um, on the 30th during the live stream. Mother Puss Bucket somehow sneaky got into my lap. And that's why he's called Sneaky. Crystal can't get at me right now because I'm kind of blocked in with having my laptop over here on a TV tray. And yeah, we don't have kids where we live either. So we don't decorate anymore. One year, we, we had a haunted house in our apartment. It was pretty cool. We even had my youngest son's Cabbage Patch boy doll. He brought it to my mom and said, "Make it look like Dracula, so I can put it in that thing over there, so he looks like he's laying in a box." And my mom says, "Oh, do you mean coffin?" And he looks at her. He's 4 or 5 years old and says, "Now, Grandma, you know I can't say coffin." He was like that, okay? Probably do a lot of things that may be offensive, pagan witches. Wicca. No, you probably not. They have some hot through the woods. Yeah, there are here too. Wahoo! I seriously doubt if they got a if someone is offended to me, okay? If someone is offended by how someone else decorates their own property, I ignore it. You know, just because it's there doesn't, and you personally don't agree with it, doesn't mean you have to give the person who did it a hard time. Everybody has a right to their own opinion and their own decorating style. Do you know very much about the history or for how long people have been reading tea leaves? I wonder when and how it all started. Grandma's did that. The tea leaves, I know started way, 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 way back. Um, it was um a very easy divination tool to have. And I don't really know exactly when or how it all started. I've heard that it started in Greece. I've heard it started with the Celts. I think a lot of different people were using it around the same time that and they couldn't travel like we do now, so they didn't know about it. Just my guess. Okay, for sure, the ones I know aren't overly sensitive. They're fine with people having their own beliefs. Yes, definitely. Definitely. I mean, I personally, for myself, won't buy any witches that have the long nose and all that. But that's just me. But when I see them in a yard in someone's decoration, oh, cool, they got witches. So no, I mean, you know, oh, oh, that must be interesting, Iggy. Some people have some strange ideas about what other people do. Yes, they do. Part of the reason, well, the main reason I decided to go live was for people to be able to see and communicate with a real witch and not and try to get some of the stereotypes about witches blowing out all the hell. All those college kids at Starbucks will do anything. You're right, John. That would be a fat guy with a beard getting mad that someone has a Santa decoration. I mean, some of the witch decorations, oh, they are marvelous. There, I saw one. She's holding a broom. She's animated, and I forget what she says, but yeah, she was also like $600. So, and like I said, we don't have any children around. Plus, if something like that was out on the lawn, you can bet it would last. It would be gone the first time Merlin and Crystal went out because they'd see it as a person and attack it. But um, actually, certain coffee grounds can be red, Adam. I have a friend in Australia whose grandmother taught her and her sister how to read coffee grounds, and she said her grandmother was very good at it. But it isn't like the regular grind of coffee. They grind it very, very thin or little or however you want to put it. And then when it's all but like half a sip is in the cup, then they swirl the cup, put a saucer over it, and turn it over. So not only do they read what's in the cup, they read what's on the saucer too. Remember, I'm a smart enough to. Kind of a side topic. One of my neighbors actually complained that I gave a full-size candy because it made other parents look cheap. You know what? Too bad for the neighbor. If you can, give the kids what you want to give them. If they can't afford the same thing, that's okay. They give what they can give. Well, she still lets her kids come to your house. It saves her from having to go get them a full-size candy bar. Either that or else she takes the full-size candy bar for herself. Yes, Lisa, it is about the focus and second sight. ABC gum? What is ABC gum? That's what I used to do, and then I switched to giving out stamps because I was a strange lady in the neighborhood, already been chewed. Oh, gross! Remind me to take a picture of my giant treat container. Yeah, you're giving me a lot of shit to remember. Dust Rose, Black Cat treat container. I'll have to go back and look at the live chat later. You guys are right. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I'm your secretary. I know. And a good, damn good one. I love seeing the kids' costumes. Yes, I do. That is one thing I miss. One of KD's. Yeah, okay, Lisa. Actually, I use this. It's excuse me. It's yeah. Things I printed that I didn't need it, so then I break it up and make it into a little uh notepad. Okay, rose, dust, cat, container, pick. And you're also supposed to edit out some kind of edit out a telephone number on your first on the video. See, I got it written down. Ooh, Reese's. You can send me some. I have LED. What is it a mask of, John? I My mom always dressed up to me trick or treaters, and then when my kids were old enough to go out, when I took my kids out, I would be dressed up with them. And when they went out by themselves, and even after they were all gone, I still dressed up to answer the door. Oh, I don't glue them together. I just use the clip, Lisa. Lazy here. You can show it if you want. I don't know how to show it. I can't. I would have to go to Restream and start a whole new stream to be able to show it. Just a note to you and John, I might be able to just pop in Friday after trick or treaters, but need to get up early to go out of town for the weekend. Oh, nice. I hope you're going someplace and having fun, Wahoo, and relaxing. No, I'm on YouTube Studio Live. I don't use OBS. I use Restream. That's nice, Lisa, that you did it that way. I just I just use the clip. Going to help my uncle. Baby after he fail, he wants to. Nice. Thank him for his service, please. That makes sense, Lisa. So you can see the glue end. Yeah, I can't. Hang on. I can't. I don't know how I'd bring it in. Let me just save it. Okay, I'm back. Show mass bed. Okay. So much for my yummy Yahoo. Oh, salmon. Yep, you're right, Lisa. They do. Nice, Wahoo. Well, my sweet people, if there's nothing else you want us all to talk about, I think I'll wrap it up for the night. I need to be up at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. That's also why it was a half hour earlier, why it was at 7 and 7:30. Please remember October 30th, my stream, which will be starting at 7:30 Central Time, 8:30 Eastern Time, with my special guest, KTZ. And then on Friday, October 31st, we have John's second spooky special, starting around 9:40ish Eastern Time. Take care, be safe, blessed be everyone. Good night. Love you all.